正しさとは愚かさとはそれが何か見せつけてやれ
Taking the world by storm with her debut single, released before she even turned 18, Ado has burst onto the J-pop scene like the f***ing Kool-Aid Man. That debut single of hers, Utseiwa, has been record-setting, and experienced a massive spike in popularity in early 2021. Even though her solo career only kicked off just over half a year ago, Ado has already experienced massive success, with all her singles receiving millions of views on YouTube, and consistently sitting in Japanese top music charts. But just who is the faceless viral singer Ado? And what exactly can we take away from her story of success at such a young age? Join me today as we take a look at the meteoric rise of the teenage titan of Utaite herself, Ado. For this first section, I'm going to be primarily referencing this interview that she did from Vocaloid Collection Winter 2020 with John Yakitori. I'll be linking the original article and the translation I used in the description. With that aside, let's get started. Ado has said that she considers Nico Nico Doga, a popular Japanese video sharing website, to be something of a childhood home to her. She also said in the interview, "I watched YouTube too, of course, but I admittedly was attracted by Nico Nico Doga's scrolling comments, thinking, I want to see comments scrolling on a video of mine was important." It was on Nico Nico that Ado would fall in love with Vocaloid when she was young, and I mean really fall in love with Vocaloid. She was totally captivated with it as a kid, and even to this day she talks about getting extremely emotional over Vocaloid music. Ado would become interested in Utatemita covers, Utatemita translating to tried to sing, after she first heard them in the anime for the Kagero project. It aired while she was in late elementary school, and it featured a number of Vocaloid songs sung by popular Japanese singers. She became drawn even more into covers on Nico Nico through various Utaite, people who make Utatemita covers. She felt especially impressed by the many Utaite on Nico Nico that would sing without ever showing their faces. Feeling inspired by these faceless Utaite and fueled by a passionate love for Vocaloid music, she decided to try covering for herself, posting her first cover to Nico Nico on January 10th of 2017, Kimi no Taion by Kuwagata P. She was super talented for an inexperienced Utaite, but do you know what the craziest thing was? She was 14 when she recorded that! I don't know about you, but my only unbelievable talent when I was 14 was knowing the absolute most annoying time to pull out my kazoo. Like right now. Moving on. Not entirely surprising for a young teen making song covers in their free time, Ado used to record in her closet, and covered it in soundproofing foam. She said in the interview, "That was the only recording space I had. I'd go in like, guess I'll record, and slam it shut." It'd certainly look strange if you weren't in the know, hearing a super loud voice coming from the closet. After a while, I'd say, I'll take a break, open the door, and do some gaming. But hey, a closet isn't the worst place in the world to record anyway. Personally speaking, I don't exactly have the best options myself right now, but I get by just fine. You know what? I think I'm gonna record a whole song right now. Yeah, I think I'm in a song mood right now. Yeah, let's do it, let's do it. Oh, and speaking of gaming, I couldn't think of a natural way to incorporate this into everything I was saying, but she said in the interview and a few other places that she used to browse Nico Nico on her 3DS. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna move on now. Ado did a lot of solo covers for a while, but she eventually got the attention of other creators in the Nico Nico space. She was first featured on a song in December of 2019 with Kujira's single Kinmokusei. But it wasn't until the second song that she featured on that she really started to get some significant attention.
What?
Released on March 29th, 2020, John Yakitori's single Shikabaneze featuring Ado didn't exactly pick up a whole lot of steam until about a month or two after its release. That's when a storm started brewing. The song became a massive hit on TikTok in Japan, with it becoming a trend to sing this particular part of it. With the success of Shikabaneze, Ado received a lot more attention than ever, notably catching the eye of someone very important, whose name starts with a U and ends with Universal Music. 2020 was a big year for Ado. She released a handful of extremely successful covers and continued to collaborate with other artists in the months following the release of Shikabaneze. One of her most successful covers of all time was put out in June, Bocca della Verità by Hiragi Kirai. She brought a big heaping spoonful of life to a song that was already brimming with personality, and it shows. On YouTube, her cover even has more views than Hiragi Kirai's original version, which, I must add, was by no means a small song. She also put her incredible vocal talent on full display in her cover of Pseudo's song, Baka. I can't even begin to describe this glow-up, so just take a listen for yourself. I don't mean to say that the original is bad or anything, it's going for a completely different tone musically, and is still extremely good, but like, wow, Ado really brought it above and beyond. She featured on a handful of songs as well, like Tokyo Cannibalism, Shake It Now, and Eat, which was her second project with John Yakitori. At just 17, Ado was really starting to make a name for herself, but not even she could have expected what the next few months would have in store for her. We now reach the turning point in Ado's career. October 23rd, 2020. One day before her 18th birthday. Wait a minute, didn't you already open the video on this song? Ussewa was Ado's debut single under Universal Music, and it sure as hell made a strong first impression. Opening on instrumental stings like lightning strikes, Ado introduces herself in a normal voice for all of 4 f***ing seconds before erupting into a scream that grabs you by the ears and plunges headfirst into a gritty instrumental. From its name to its opening beats, the song sets its tone in no uncertain terms. Shut the f*** up, buckle the f*** up, and don't you dare look away for a second. Utterly unrelenting and pulling no punches both musically and lyrically, Ussewa is far from your average pop song. But that's not at all surprising coming from its writer, the Vocaloid producer Pseudo. Yep, same Pseudo as before. His music and lyrics are both overflowing with emotion, making the frustration, bitterness, and anger of the song so unbelievably palpable for every second it plays. The music alone is phenomenal. The intense, driving bass line and the infectious, energetic drums make you feel every beat of the song as you tap your foot and bang your head like a madman. And the almost creepy synths and piano, paired with the exhilarating guitar, help build thick atmosphere around the song that ensnares the listener in its rich sound. All of this combined with Ado giving one of her greatest vocal performances of her career cranks Ussewa all the way past 11 and up to a 12 in sheer intensity. The music video even lifts it up to like a 13 or something with its incredible artwork and impactful editing. There are so many good shots from this video that are just downright iconic at this point, and I think it really speaks to the talent of everyone involved in the project. The song packs one hell of a punch lyrically as well. The lyrics depict a girl with a bitter resentment for the strict and uptight rules of Japanese society, and particularly its intense and overbearing work culture. The entire song is basically a giant middle finger to the establishment, and it cuts deep. The song is extremely bold in this regard, and this boldness is even apparent in its title, which translates to something in the ballpark of "shut the f*** up." So I think you can imagine how a song like this would go over with Japanese adults if it were to, say, take the youth of the nation by storm. Yeah, that's about right. Usewa utterly exploded in early 2021, spreading all over social media a few months following its release. But even in just 2020, the song reached 5 million views on YouTube in mid-November and ranked number 1 on the Spotify Viral Top 50 Japan on December 10th. Even nearly half a year after its initial release, Usewa refused to lose any steam, only getting bigger and bigger by the day. For a while, the song was everywhere online. Since the song only continued to grow over time, we'll be checking on it periodically throughout the video. Think of it kind of as an indicator of just how far Ado had made it. You know, since Usewa's kind of her flagship song now. Hot off the release of Usewa, Ado had a few notable releases in December before her next major single, first of which was Usewa, but again. More specifically, a piano rendition of Usewa. That might sound totally skippable to most of you, but trust me, it is well worth the listen. I do not call Ado one of the most talented singers I have ever heard lightly. She also did another song with John Yakitori in this time, this being Faking of Comedy. All 3 of the songs that the pair have worked on thus far have been really interesting and had unique sounds, with Faking of Comedy being the most upbeat of them all, though Eat is my personal favorite. Lastly was her collaboration with Hiragi Kirai. Love Ka, Nabuka, I don't know, whatever, it's this song. Without a doubt, it is the most unique song Ado has ever worked on. Hiragi Kirai's jazz-influenced sound is extremely striking and contrasts the vast majority of Ado's library significantly. Even Ado's vocal performance here is really different from most of her other songs. The art in the music video really freaked me out for a while and turned me away from the song, but the whole thing is an incredibly impressive piece, and while I think it's certainly not for everyone, I think every fan of Ado should listen to it at least once. But with that behind us, that brings us to Christmas Eve of 2020. Ready Made was Ado's second single, and it was once again written by a Vocaloid producer, this time being Suri. I really don't even know where to start with Ready Made. I mean, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. Every aspect of the song was a home run in my book. Seriously, what a slam dunk! Wait a second, that's not... Alright, jokes aside, Ado and Suri absolutely killed it with Ready Made. The music is so upbeat and lively, those horns and the saxophone especially just make me melt. Ado's vocal performance here is also top-notch. She starts with a really expressive and fitting lower tone during the verses, and then once she gets to the chorus, her vocals absolutely take off. I love so many of the little details in her performance so much. Like the way she rolls the R at the end of the first pre-chorus, or the way she says a bat in the chorus, or even the way that she repeatedly bends notes all the time. She shows off so much of her vocal versatility and the insane amounts of expression she's capable of here. The music video is incredible as well. The baseball imagery is super eye-catching and memorable. Not that it even needed to be, because the song is already a total earworm. Of all of Ado's songs, Ready Made is particularly rewarding to revisit all the time because I'm always picking up on tiny new details in the instrumental and vocals. Plus, it just slaps in general. I guess you can say it hits different.
Boo! You stink!
Alright, so how does she follow up a home run? a really good song, like Ready Made. What, Usewa again? That's right, baby! February 5th, we got a remix of Usewa by Giga! Woo! Yep, that Giga! Woo! Wait, what the fuck? Alright, I need to contain myself. No more werewolf transformation. But I can't help it. This song's just so cool! So yeah, in early February, we got a version of Usewa remixed by the legendary Vocaloid producer Giga. Now, I know you might be a little Usewa out at this point, but I can assure you, this one's a f***ing banger. Giga's electronic style fits the song so well, and the remix does so much to set itself apart from the original release. I personally loved the choice of removing the opening line and moving it all the way to the end of the song. It makes it end with such a strong impact. I'm a huge fan of Giga's work, and I think that this remix of Usewa is up there with the very best of his own songs. I actually found out about Otto through this release since I saw it on Giga's Spotify profile a month or so after it came out. I decided to check out the original, and given a little bit of time and a whole lot of plays on loop, I more or less ended up here. Also, can we just take a second to talk about this track's artwork too? Like, oh my god, how did they take the cover of the original Usewa and make it look even more raw? Like, the red and the blue look so good on black, but I cannot get over the red glare they added to her eye. Like, oh my god, it's so cool. I know this doesn't matter at all, but I could look at this all day. But speaking of Usewa, I think it's about time for our first Usewa update. Ooh, boy, does that song keep going strong. Usewa reached 40 million views January, and hit #1 on the Oricon Digital Singles and Oricon Streaming charts on February 3rd. Oh, they grow up so fast. That concludes our first Usewa update. Moving on, a remix was not all that we got in February. That's right, did someone order a new single? I ordered a pizza. Well, I got your new single right here! Woo! Bro, I just literally. Ooh, single! I got a new single for you right there. You're gonna love this song. It's so good. Please give me the pizza. I love this song. It's so good. Please give me my pizza.
キラキラ輝いて私は夜を飲み Rap top 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 今見てられない
Alright, third single lightning round. Gira Gira, released February 14th. Boom! That's Valentine's Day. Boom! Written by the Vocaloid producer Tenny Woha. Boom! Peaked number 12 on the Billboard Japan Top 100. Boom! It's a really good song. Boom! I'm out of information. Boom! You can transition now. Boom! Bro, what the f*** transition, please? To make things even better for Otto after another successful single, 4 days after the release of Gira Gira, she passed 1 million subscribers on her YouTube channel. Haha, wouldn't it be funny if I passed 1 million subscribers 4 days from now? Haha. No, not really. Oh, well, I thought it'd be funny. Haha, subscribe. Alright, it's time for another Usewa update. On March 15th, it hit #1 on the Billboard Japan Top 100. It also reached 100 million views on YouTube on March 20th. Like, wow, both of those are very, very big deals. Oh my goodness. Congratulations, Otto. Yeah, they, keep growing. Alright. This concludes your... Before we get to Otto's 4th single, which was her most recent at the time I started writing this, I'd like to very briefly touch on some of the other covers of hers that I haven't found a good enough opportunity to bring up yet. First up is Black Rock Shooter. You know I love Sumrio. Absolute classic, great vocals, the whole package. Next up, Love is War. Now you might be wondering, why should I listen to another Rio song? That's why. She also returned to her roots, doing another cover of Kimi no Taion following her debut as a solo artist. I think that's really cool. This last song is actually from 2018, but I couldn't help myself. I'm taking every opportunity I can get to talk about this song, and you're not gonna stop me. Additional Memory is my favorite song of all time, ever, forever. I love it so much. It's so good. And Otto's cover is incredible. Particularly her rendition of the last chorus is absolutely phenomenal. She made the addition of singing over the vocals of the chorus, and it's so good. I'm a longtime Fall Out Boy fan myself, and like when someone does that, it's just my weakness. Like if you know, you know. But like, oh, it's so good. Additional Memory was already my favorite song to begin with, and a surprising, exciting addition like that just made Otto's cover incredible to listen to the first time. Like, I actually thought I died and, like, went somewhere when I heard that. It was too much.
幸せを奪ってしまった二人友達の中に終わりたくなかったね届かない涙がそれに吸い込まれる俺が勘違いでも俺が勘違いでも絶対違ったのないなら言い過ぎたよ
Okay, I know I've been playing clips from songs, like, way too much in this video, but, like, I needed that. And you know what? Be grateful I didn't play the whole thing, because the whole chorus is, like, twice as long. You know, it took a lot of strength to show some restraint. You better be grateful. Where is this going? Oh yeah, she also posted a cover of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on April Fool's Day this year. Thanks, Otto. That brings us to Odo, Otto's fourth single, released April 27th, 2021. This was the first release of hers I actually got to experience myself, as I only found out about Otto not too long after the release of Gira Gira. The lead up to this song was honestly insane for me. I don't think I've ever been so hyped for a singles release so much in my entire life. About a week before the song's release, we were given an announcement on our YouTube channel page that a new single was coming. Exciting, but pretty normal. Not long after that, boom, music by Giga and Teddy Lloyd. I get hyped. Boom, lyrics by Deco27. I lose my mind. After an excruciatingly long week's wait, Odo finally arrived, and all of that bottled up hype that had been brewing exploded out as I pressed play on the video that morning.
半端なら君をふわふわしたいならどうぞ開演準備しちゃおうか無理でもほらでも愛してねほらせいだ手を響かすよ
Odo sets itself apart from the rest of Otto's singles immediately, opening on vocals that just demand your attention. Otto's voice begins to climb higher and higher as it's thrust at you alongside some bass, a couple horns, and is that a gun? Giga and Teddy Lloyd bring their A-game here, creating an utterly infectious EDM track that serves to give Otto the chance to show even more of her vocal talents in new ways. From the commanding shouts in the chorus to dance to the insanely fun moments of light rapping in the verses, Otto absolutely kills it again here. Since its release, Odo peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Japan Top 100. The whole song is just unapologetically fun to listen to, and I wouldn't be surprised if it were physically impossible to sit still listening to it. But as I'm sure you noticed, I mentioned Odo was Otto's latest song at the time I started writing this script. What exactly was that supposed to mean? Oh. Oh my goodness. That's right, Otto announced and released another new single before I was about to initially record this script, so if this video comes out late, it's because I decided to wait for her new song and write about it. Leading up to the release of Otto's fifth single, it was announced that she was chosen to be highlighted for YouTube Music's Artist on the Rise. I got genuinely scared when I saw the notification on my phone one morning with the title, Artist on the Rise Otto. For a few seconds, I actually thought the official Otto YouTube channel beat me to the punch on my video idea. Then I realized I was still half asleep, probably half illiterate, and the second half of the title said Yoru no Piero teaser. Phew, I'm safe for now. On June 14th, 2021, Otto's fifth single, Yoru no Piero, released. The music was done this time by Biz, who Otto already worked with in the past on the previously mentioned Tokyo Cannibalism. I really enjoy the lighter and more upbeat tone that the song has. The bass line is super fun the whole way through, and the backing guitar and lead synths add so much color to the instrumental. I also really like the use of bright blues and purples in the music video. Just like the rest of Otto's singles, it has a very distinct and memorable visual style that sets it apart from the other songs. So far, Otto is 5 for 5 with her singles. Not a single one disappoints. Hey, what's up guys? It's Future Solid without a script. Otto has been making a lot of announcements over the last week or two while I've been editing this video, so I'm just going to cover them real quick before I wrap up. First of all, is obviously the most important, YouTube sent her a cake for the Artist on the Rise thing. I think they sent it in the mail. It'd be really funny if they sent it in the mail. How do you send a cake in the mail? I just don't get it. Unless they didn't, I could be stupid. Anyway, it was announced that she would be doing a commercial for Tamahome, which I'm not familiar with because I don't live in Japan, but that is really cool. She did a good performance, and the video was also very pretty. It was also announced that she'd be doing an insert song for the new upcoming Kaguya-sama Love is War live-action movie. God, that's a mouthful. And I really do not know what timeline this is anymore, but I'm just down with it at this point. It has been a very busy month while I've been working on the tail end of this video, and I mean, it's a little inconvenient, but it's an exciting time to be an Otto fan. I'm just happy for her, because really these are just minor inconveniences for me. I'm excited to see her going places. Alright, last thing, because the longer I record without a script, the worse this is gonna get. Shout out to Otto English on Twitter. They do a very good job at translating her tweets and other social media posts so you can keep up with what she's doing. Google Translate doesn't do a very good job. They do. If you follow Otto and you have no idea what she's talking about, go follow them. Go follow Otto, actually, if you don't. Follow them so you know what they're talking about. Yeah, if anyone from Otto English is watching this, thank you. You do a very good job. I appreciate all the work you do. Alright, back to Past Solid. So, yeah, that brings us up to date with Otto's career. Over just a short 4 years and an even shorter couple of months, Otto has been able to achieve a massive level of success, the likes of which most young artists can only dream of. While the idea of a young and talented kid posting covers to the internet, getting signed to a record label, and garnering massive fame is nowhere near as unprecedented as it was 10 years ago when someone like Justin Bieber was just taking off, it's no less impressive that Otto has made so much for herself from what began as so little. She took her passion for Vocaloid and her inspiration from Utaite Online and used it to start covering music, both for her own fulfillment and for other people to enjoy. She loved to sing, and that's exactly what she did, even at the age of 14. Otto-san, though I'm sure you'll never end up seeing this video, I wanted to thank you for everything that you do. Your music is wonderful and has captured my heart and the hearts of so many others around the world. Your strength, perseverance, and talent move me, and I look up to you so much as someone who's young like me and has been able to do so many incredible things. So thank you for making music. Thank you for pushing forward, and thank you for doing what you love. You've given me the strength and motivation to do the same in my own life every day. So thank you so much, Otto-san. You truly inspire me. I'll say it again to all of you. Otto inspires me. She's taught me that with enough talent or hard work, anyone can be successful and follow their dreams, even when they're young. So don't wait. Don't put your aspirations on the back burner. A 17-year-old girl recorded a song that reached the very top of the charts as a debut single. Don't put off the things that you dream of doing, because you never know what's possible until you start trying. If you're all to take anything away from this video, besides go listen to Otto, of course, I want it to be that anyone can be who they wish to be. Anyone can succeed, so don't wait as your opportunities fizzle out. To quote a tweet I made at 2:30 in the morning one day, dreams can be at your fingertips, or impossibly far away, but you'll never know until you reach for them yourself. Reach for the stars. There's no telling how far you'll go. So, to all of you watching, don't hesitate to reach for the stars. Not now or ever. Because you never know. You just might end up reaching them. Thanks for watching.
私も大概だけどただ